Hi there, it's Caroline here, coming to you with my second ever YouTube video, so really excited to be back. And hello to my 3 subscribers, which is only a very small number but is absolutely fantastic for me, so thank you very much. Today I am creating a 12 by 12 layout using the Shimelle Best of Both Worlds kit for January, and the challenge for this project was to work with cut aparts. Now, Shimelle loves cut aparts, so there were lots of cut apart sheets in the kit, so that was really good, and I have already cut into quite a few of them. I know the story that I want to tell today, and I already have my photos printed. So what I'm going to do is go through the cut aparts and find any sentiments that will match my story. First of all, what I'm doing is I'm finding a wood grain from my stash, because Shimelle actually switched in 2 papers this week, because she had run out of background papers already, and I've done the same. So I'm doing exactly what she did. So I'm mixing in a cocoa vanilla wood grain here from my stash, and also I'll be pulling over a pink sheet of paper. This one is also from Cocoa Vanilla. It's from the Storyteller collection. It was designed by Tracy Reed. So I actually have this design as a printable paper, so I could have printed this off, but I don't have a large format printer. My printer only goes as large as A4, and since I'm doing a full 12 by 12 layout, it wouldn't have been big enough. So I'm going to work with this paper instead. So the next stage is going to be pulling out the cut apart pieces that I want to work with. I love the designs on all of these sheets, but one thing that's a little bit difficult for me and my style is that 3 sheets of the paper, the Simple Stories collection, are cream based, so soft cream colours, and that Pink Fresh, which was on the top then, and the Echo Park cut apart are white based. So they are, the Echo Park I would say is an off-white but still more white than cream, and the Pink Fresh is a brilliant white. So when I lay those pieces together, I don't like the way they look personally. There's nothing wrong with mixing white and cream, it's just not something that I like to do. It just jars my eye a little bit on the design. I get around that sometimes with inking my papers at the edges, but I'm just looking here and I'm thinking things are very, very different. So what I'm going to choose to do is pull out my cut aparts mainly from the Simple Stories sheets, so that's absolutely fine. So next is going to be assembling my background page, my background format. So as I said, it's 12 by 12, and Shimelle had a teared strip at the top. I just wanted to say at this point, I apologise for how close the video is. I know I'm cutting off a little bit of the top of my work desk. I do realise that in a little moment, and then I will adjust it so you'll get the full image. So apologies for that, for just a brief while longer. And what I've done here with my sheet is I've torn the pink paper, so it's about 4 inches, so that it will take up one of the thirds basically of the 12 by 12 sheet. And I am assembling, I could have just stuck it straight onto the top of that wood grain, but I am a bit of a frugal scrapbooker, and I didn't like the idea of 4 inches of that gorgeous wood grain being hidden, so I did chop that off the top, and then I did it with just a bit of loose piece of cardstock that I had spare. I like to save as many scraps as possible and get all the gorgeous use out of them as I can. So I'm just trimming out my cut aparts. I am using one piece from that Echo Park collection after all, and that's that Make Things Happen. It really matches that sentiment, really matches the story that I want to tell, and so I'm going to pop that over on the one side of the page, and then any cream based elements are more likely going to be on the left hand side of the page, so they'll be split out anyway. There we go, I've adjusted my screen now so you've got a little bit of a better view. It's much better. As I said, it's only my second process video, so I am learning and I'm really enjoying the learning journey, but it's all very new to me. You'll see here that I'm just trimming out the cutter parts a little bit, and I have my 3 photos there. So Shimelle provided a sketch on her original video when she put this together, and she put this together in live time, so it wasn't sped up and you're just basically scrapping along with her, which is a really lovely format. It does take about an hour and a half, but it's absolutely fantastic. I have a coffee and I watch along and scrapbook with her, so it's really good, and I would really recommend that you do that if you haven't ever given it a try. What I'm doing now is I'm trying to find a piece of paper to mat my photos on, because there was a mat on the sketch and I do need something to pull them up from that pink paper. Again, I'm a frugal scrapbooker, so I don't like cutting into my 12x12 sheets when I'm working with a kit. So I've definitely discounted those. As it is, they didn't work anyway. I really like this Pink Fresh, the B side of the Pink Fresh, or it might be the A side actually. But again, so many good cutter parts on that sheet that it felt like a bit of a waste to lose them all on the back of a mat. So instead, I am going to use this floral paper, which matches nicely the Simple Stories documented 1 6x4 card that I'm going to be writing my journaling on, and I'm just layering those 3x4 photos up on that mat. I think these photos, yeah, they're probably slightly smaller than 3x4 because I print on a Canon Selfie, and any of you who use one of those printers know it's not a true 6x4 once you've snapped off the edges, which can be a little bit frustrating, but actually can also be really helpful when you want to add that extra detail on your pages, because it gives you can easily mat the photos onto a 3x4 card. I've taken the decision to ink my pages, so going a bit old school with this one. As I said, I'm mixing that cream colour, which is on the January card on the left hand side from Simple Stories, with the whiter based colour of the Echo Park, which is that 3x4 card on the right. So one way I like to bring colour schemes like that together is to ink the edges with some Tim Holtz Distress ink. I think I'm using Vintage Photo for these ones, so it's a nice warm brown colour and it matched that wood grain really nicely. Just layering things up. I would say that as I've been filming my scrapbook layouts, it has made me realise just how much I fiddle with my papers and how much I move things around so many times. I've left it in at the moment, but I probably will start cutting a lot of that out. My indecision, I would say, I'd like to make sure things are just so, and you don't know how they're going to be when they're going to be right until you've tried them in about 6 or 7 different places, it seems. Just lightly tacking things down with my adhesive at this point, because again, as I know, I'm probably going to want to move things. And I will warn you, it takes me a long time to get this January piece down. It really does. I wanted it to have no trap space up on the top left. As you'll see, there's a little tiny piece there. I wanted the January to be legible, so really it needed to go a little bit lower, and it was just a bit of a shame that there is a little bit too much tear and a tiny bit of wood grain that just jarred my eye, so I'll be building an embellishment cluster there later to take away that little trapped area. It's about at this stage that I decide I need a lot more cutter parts, a lot more to add to the page if I'm going to follow along with Shimelle's sketch. And it's at this point that I'm trying to work out whether I want to use that fake it till you make it word strip from the Pink Fresh paper. The sentiment really helps accentuate the story that I want to tell, but that red is quite different to any other colours in the kit, and I haven't got any of that red on my page yet, so it really stands out. So if I want to use it, I know I've got to bring in some red, so I have changed my plan on what I was going to put on here. I've brought in another cut apart from the Pink Fresh sheet, which has a tiny touch of the red on, and I am going to be using some stickers from Simple Stories sticker book, particularly the border strips, as kind of a faux washi. There's a red, pinky red colour that matches that word strip really, really well. So I'm going to use that, build that up as a faux washi to place my embellishment clusters on top of it, and it helps bring that colour in. One thing I've noticed is if you don't have a colour represented at least 3 times on your page, it really, really does jar. It kind of draws your eye, which is great if that's what you want it to do. You know, if it's a focal piece and you really want to draw the eye there. But that wasn't my title. It was just an embellishment, so I wanted to make sure it felt balanced. Using these Doodlebug alphas that I swapped into the kit, as I couldn't get the ones that Shimelle recommended as my title, and I absolutely love this set. Actually, I'm going to buy some more in different colours because look how many vowels they've got. It's absolutely fantastic. I always run out of vowels, so I was really, really pleased when it arrived, and I hadn't spotted just how many vowels there were when I looked on the online shop, so really, really recommend those. I'm popping up some of the stickers from that sticker book now to start building my embellishment clusters. I really like to do that to just give some added dimension. And a little tip, if you're popping up stickers, stick them if you've got something not too furry on clothes wise. If you pop your sticker on there a couple of times, it takes off the tack, and then it means that the pop dots that you put on there will pop. The sticker won't be tempted to stick down on the edges. Using the word strips, dotting those around, and again doing that, using the sticker book really and as an embellishment format to bring the colours that are on this page all across, just so there's a nice spread of the colour. I've brought in that diary because I've got a photo there on the left of my diary, and I'm going to be talking in my journaling about how I'm starting new projects and I'm planning for new things, this YouTube channel being one step on that journey. And I'm looking for sentiments that match or help my story a lot here, but I am also going with colour. I think it's really important to try and make sure that the colour scheme is cohesive, but also whilst I like everything that goes on my page to be meaningful. So if I've got a packed page, this is a really busy page for me, but I wanted to use that sketch, but I still want to make sure that everything that's on there is relevant. The final thing I'm doing here now is finishing off those embellishment clusters by adding in small pieces. So in this case, enamel dots and a puffy sticker in each one of them, adding 3 in just to finish it off and make everything look extra pretty and cohesive, and just an extra added texture onto my page. My journaling will be going on that 6x4 card in the centre of the page, and I'll be doing that off screen. It's a bit private, the journaling that I wanted to put on this page, so I'm going to put that in afterwards, and also you don't need to watch me write. And I've just finished off by edging the whole thing in that vintage photo ink. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a longer video, this one. I hope that you like it, and thank you so much for following along and staying with me, and if you've liked it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you very much. Bye.